Are you wearing a dinosaur costume?
Only on days ending in Y.
You know you're in a library, right?
I thought this was the costume section.
You're just casually dressed like a dinosaur, in public, while reading?
Technically, I'm dressed like Extinction Denial.
Well, mission accomplished.
This is my regular outfit. The world just hasn't caught up with my timeline yet.
So you're ahead of the times, by like, 65 million years?
Exactly. Fashion's a flat circle. We're due for a tail renaissance.
I can't decide if you're joking or delivering prophecy.
Yes.
What brings you here anyway? Paleontology research?
Close. I'm meeting someone here. Interview. I'm the subject.
Really? Interview for what?
Life. Art. Cats. Dinosaurs. The human condition. Possibly all of the above.
Sounds broad.
So is my resume. And my imagination.
Who's interviewing you?
A woman named Carla. Never met her, but she sounded professional. Brave move agreeing to meet a man dressed like prehistoric optimism.
Carla? Huh?
You know her?
No, just a name.
Interesting pause there.
I'm naturally dramatic.
Me too, hence the outfit. Much better. I like being out in the open. Dinosaurs were never meant to be boxed in by non-fiction.
I'm still adjusting to how normal you make this feel. You've got serious "this is just my Tuesday" energy.
It is just my Tuesday. Or is it Thursday? Either way, it's Dino Day.
You really don't care what people think, do you?
Why bother? People can't even agree on pineapple on pizza. If that's divisive, what chance do I have?
Fair. I guess I admire that.
Thanks. I admire your eyebrows. They arch like a man who's seen things but chooses peace.
That's oddly specific, but appreciated.
Eyebrow compliments are the most underappreciated form of flattery.
So, what's this interview about, really?
Carla said she was doing a profile on modern-day eccentrics. I said sure, as long as I can speak on behalf of lizards everywhere.
And she agreed?
She laughed, then said yes. That's called trust.
Or curiosity?
Same thing, different seasoning.
You're not worried you'll be misunderstood?
Only by people who still wear beige as a personality.
You're like a walking fever dream, but in a good way.
I'll take that. I'd rather be a strange memory than a forgettable passerby.
Honestly, that's kind of inspiring.
It should be. Inspiration is just confusion that decided to dress up.
You should put that on a mug.
I did, but it melted in the dishwasher. Oops, we're too loud for knowledge.
I should get going. But, good luck with the interview.
Thanks. And if Carla asks about the tail, I will tell her it's symbolic.
Symbolic of what?
The parts of us we're not afraid to show anymore.
Alright, now you've earned the mug.
I accept it in honor of all extinct creatures with flair.
Hi, Delmore.
In the flesh. Or scales. Depending on how literally we're taking things today.
I'm Carla. Thanks for meeting with me.
Thanks for not turning around when you saw the tail.
You definitely make a first impression.
Good. I once made a fourth impression before a first. Time travel joke. Sorry, you'll get used to it.
So, before we begin, what's the story behind the outfit?
It's not an outfit. It's a lifestyle, a philosophy, a thermal solution on cold mornings. Also, who wouldn't want to dress like the last cool thing before the asteroid?
So, you're an artist.
Among other things, street poet, puppeteer, failed serial-themed escape room designer. I contain multitudes.
Cereal-themed escape room.
Every room was a giant cereal box. You had to solve puzzles based on the mascots. One person got lost in the Frosted Flakes zone. Legally, I can't say more.
Okay, I officially don't know what to expect from this interview.
Perfect. That means we're both exactly where we should be.
I like that. All right, ready to begin?
Born ready.
Let's get started. All right, let's start with something simple.
Simple is a trap. Proceed.
What would you say is the most Delmore thing about you?
Ooh, good one. I'd say, the unshakable belief that absurdity and truth are neighbors who borrow sugar from each other.
That's either the most poetic or most confusing answer I've ever gotten.
Why not both? Life's more interesting when it doesn't fit in a tidy soundbite.
So you live by that?
Live, breathe, accessorize. I figure the moment people stop expecting me to make sense is the moment they actually start listening.
You're giving me way better material than half the authors I've interviewed.
That's because they're trying to be profound. I'm just being honest in a dino suit.
Do you think the costume helps or hurts that honesty?
Depends on the audience. Some people see a costume and assume it's hiding something. Others see it and realize, oh, maybe it's stopped hiding altogether.
That's actually kind of beautiful.
That's what happens when you wear your weird on the outside.
Okay, next question. What's something people often misunderstand about you?
That I'm trying to be funny.
You're not?
I mean, sure, laughter's a lovely side effect. But most of the time, I'm just telling the truth, and people don't know what to do with honesty that's wearing glitter.
I think I get that. You present like a punchline, but there's depth behind it.
I'll take that as a compliment. Punchlines and depth, best combo since peanut butter and existential dread.
Next question, what inspires you?
Moments, the in-between kind, like when someone misses their train and just sits. Or when a balloon floats away and a kid watches it without crying. That quiet little ache, that's where art lives.
That's kind of stunning.
Also cats, and cereal box mazes, but mostly the ache thing.
Got it. Melancholy and whiskers. I'm sensing a theme.
Add glitter glue and you've got my autobiography title.
I'm stealing that line. Okay, one more, for now. If you could leave one sentence behind that the world had to hear, what would it be?
You don't have to match the room. You just have to show up in it.
Wow.
I practiced that in the mirror.
Still works.
Want to hear the version I did with interpretive dance?
Let's stick to words for now.
Wise choice. My graceful swan looks a lot like someone losing a shoe.
What's something you wish people asked you more often?
Maybe, what made you smile today? People are always rushing through the big stuff. They forget the little sparks.
Okay then, what did make you smile today?
A little girl outside asked her mum if I was a time traveler. I said yes, and she saluted me.
Sounds like you made her day.
She made mine first.
Do you ever get tired of standing out?
I used to, when I thought blending in meant belonging. But then I realized, I feel most at home when I stop apologizing for being a walking question mark.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Some people wear ties. I wear a tail. Same idea, just different fabric.
All right, final question for today.
Lay it on me.
What do you hope people remember about you?
That I made them feel seen. Even if just for a second. Like, they weren't invisible in the middle of their ordinary day.
I think you're already doing that.
Then I'm doing okay.
That's all the questions I have for now. Honestly, you've given me enough material for 5 profiles.
I aim to confuse and inspire in equal measure.
Thank you, Delmore. This was unexpected in the best way.
Unexpected is my brand. Trademark pending.
I'll be in touch when the article's ready.
Take your time. I'm not going extinct anytime soon.
See you around, Dinosaur Man.
Until the next chapter.
You ever wonder if bars named after nouns are just giving up? Like, what's next? A club called Chair?
I'd go to Chair. Sounds stable. Solid support. No drama.
I'd only go if they had a recliner section and served warm milk.
Of course you would.
So, you dragging me out here to make small talk? Or did something weird finally happen to you for once?
Actually, I had a pretty full day of strange encounters and philosophical revelations.
So, Tuesday?
No, this one was even more Tuesday than Tuesday.
I'm listening.
First, I met a guy at the library. Real serious type. Clean sneakers. Had that quietly unraveling energy.
Ooh, a new best friend?
Not yet, but we bonded over bookcases. He spotted me through the shelves. Thought I was a hallucination.
That tracks. People don't expect dinosaurs with library cards.
Exactly. We had a little back and forth. I dazzled him with my tale philosophy.
Delmore, did you hit this man with metaphorical wisdom again?
I tried to warn him.
And then?
Then Carla showed up.
The magazine lady?
The very one. She didn't run away screaming. That's how I knew it was going to be a good interview.
She didn't ask about the tale?
Not directly, but the curiosity sparkled in her eyes. Like when people hear me humming to squirrels and pretend it's normal.
Did you say anything profound and unmarketable?
Absolutely. I told her truth wears glitter, that melancholy smells like cereal boxes, and I may have pitched my autobiography title again.
Glitter glue and existential dread. I still think that needs to be a podcast.
You'd be my co-host.
I already talk to walls. It's a natural next step. You ever sit back and wonder how we got here?
Geographically or philosophically?
Both. 1 minute I was arguing with a traffic cone. Next I'm standing outside a bar called Beer with a Dinosaur.
Sounds like the title of my autobiography.
Nope. That one's still glitter glue and existential dread.
Right. This would be the prequel.
You think this is it for us? The pinnacle? A neon bar we refuse to enter and a conversation about nothing?
Absolutely. This is the dream. No entry fee, no dress code, and the universe keeps letting us monologue.
I do love a good monologue.
You do treat every street corner like a stage.
And you treat life like it's always opening night.
Better than waiting for the curtain to fall.
I don't know what you said to that Carla woman, but you look different. Comer.
Maybe I just needed someone to ask the right questions.
Well, if you ever need someone to ask the wrong ones, I'm always available.
You're hired.
Pay me in tuna and riddles.
Done.
Still not going in?
Not tonight. I've already had a full serving of meaning.
Yeah, And my cat says it's almost nap o'clock.
Then we must obey the cat.
Good evening, and welcome back to QuickTune Gallery News. I'm Victoria.
And I'm Paul. Tonight's recap takes us deep into eccentricity, coincidence, and just a little cosmic mischief in episode 8 of Life in a Transit, titled, You Don't Have to Match the Room.
This episode opens in the quiet corners of a public library. A man named Scott browses the shelves, until he notices a figure across from him. Not just anyone, a man in a dinosaur costume.
Enter Delmore. Philosopher. Artist. Walking metaphor. Possibly extinct. Possibly prophetic.
The two strangers strike up a surprisingly meaningful conversation, one filled with eyebrow compliments, tail philosophies, and reflections on how to live unapologetically. Scott is puzzled, amused, and oddly inspired.
But let's not miss a key detail here. Scott and Delmore's meeting wasn't just comedy. It was a near-miss moment. Because who was Delmore there to meet? None other than Carla.
And while Scott stepped away, Carla arrived just moments later. Same building, same day. Their paths so close, yet still not crossing.
What followed was a brilliant, hilarious, and deeply heartfelt interview. Carla sat down with Delmore for what was supposed to be a character profile, but ended up peeling back something much more personal.
Delmore spoke of honesty dressed in glitter, cereal box mazes, and the ache found in quiet moments. Somehow, in all his chaos, he made room for truth.
And if that wasn't enough, he wrapped his day up outside a bar called Beer, standing under neon light with Dottie, our cat-whispering philosopher of the streets.
No doors were entered. No drinks were poured. Just two eccentric souls reflecting on their strange little lives, outside a bar named after a noun.
And Delmore? He looked changed. Calmer. As if someone finally asked him the right questions.
Meanwhile, Carla walked away with pages of insight, and unknowingly, another brush with the man she hasn't stopped thinking about since the platform.
Missed trains. Almost encounters. Conversations that linger. This episode reminded us that the people we're looking for might already be in the same room.
Or just a few shelves away.
That's it for tonight's recap of Life in a Transit. You don't have to match the room.
And stay tuned, because next week's episode promises a shift. New settings, new reflections, and maybe, finally, some steps toward that inevitable meeting.
Until then, I'm Paul.
And I'm Victoria. Thanks for watching QuickTune Gallery News. We'll see you next time.